Let's jump right into this explainer of the classic Hindi animated fable, Billy Bhikshu, or the monk cat. Today, we're breaking down a wild story of cunning deception, survival, and ultimate justice. But we aren't just looking at the plot here. We're actually analyzing this through the lens of Hindi 3D AI video story creation. Specifically, we're going to zero in on something called actor momenting. That's how the AI generates those subtle character expressions, the physical acting, and the dramatic visual irony that really drives a narrative forward and makes it just so incredibly engaging. All right, let's get into it. So, here's the big central mystery that kicks off our whole story. We've got this cat, right? And he used to be the absolute terror of the jungle. I mean, he literally used to boast that he wouldn't just kill his prey, he'd play with them while they were still alive. Yikes. But then suddenly, we see him presenting himself as this super peaceful, meditating monk. As a viewer, you've really got to ask yourself, how on earth does a highly dangerous predator just undergo this extreme spiritual transformation overnight? No way, right? There's got to be a catch. Well, the true motivation for his little trickery becomes pretty clear when we look at the stark physical contrast. Back in his prime, he was a dangerous, hyperactive hunter. But as time passed, he grew old. He grew weak. Catching those fast, nimble little mice became pretty much impossible for him. And the actor moment here is absolutely crucial. The AI animation beautifully shifts from this posture of total power to one of just deep, heavy fatigue. You can really feel it. When the body fails, the mind has to take over. He desperately needed a new strategy to survive. And he realized that to catch his next meal, he was going to have to use his brain instead of his claws. And wow, his new strategy is nothing short of theatrical. The cat decides he's going to become a sannyasi, an ascetic or a holy monk. So he finds this rock, sits down on it, and just starts loudly chanting this entirely made-up, totally hilarious Hindi-Sanskrit hybrid mantra, Meow, Hreem, Jungli, Nama. The physical acting in this scene is pure comedic gold. You have this known, vicious predator sitting perfectly still, eyes closed, projecting this aura of complete, utterly fake spiritual devotion. It's a highly expressive actor moment that perfectly nails the absurdity of his lie, completely setting the stage for his grand manipulation. Now, the real trick is how he actually sells this massive lie to the terrified mice. And he delivers a beautifully manipulative speech. He looks right at them and claims he is absolutely done hunting mice. He plays the repentant sinner to perfection, saying he's just trying to atone for the countless mice he ate back in his youth. Now, his sole purpose is to bring peace to the jungle, and he even invites them to come up one by one to receive his holy blessings. It is a total masterclass in deception, designed to completely disarm his victims. Naturally, the mice are super suspicious, whispering among themselves outside their little caves. But then we get this incredibly tense actor moment. One exceptionally brave mouse decides, you know what? I'm going to test the waters. He slowly creeps up to the terrifying monk cat and actually touches him. And what does the cat do? Absolutely nothing. Zero reaction. This calculated restraint, this deliberate decision to completely ignore the physical touch of his natural prey, that is the exact moment the cat wins their blind trust. Boom! The mice are officially convinced this guy is a reformed holy man. So once that trust is firmly established, the cat kicks his plan into high gear. One day, he calls out to the mice, and watch his animated expressions here. They shift rapidly from this calm Zen master to sheer urgent panic as he cries out, "Danger from the eastern mountains!" He completely manufactures this fake external threat. He tells them he's had a vision of this great danger coming right for them. This is a classic manipulation tactic, right? Create a huge crisis and then immediately position yourself as the one and only savior who can protect everyone from it. Which brings us right to the trap. Let's look at the timeline. On day 1, he drops the worrying about the danger. On day 2, he swoops in with the solution. He invites them all into his ashram for a Shatru Samhara Puja, which is a prayer to destroy enemies. He promises them that once they're inside his walls, they'll be completely safe. So one by one, these poor, naive mice walk right in. But by day 3, the grim reality sets in. The mice never return. The dramatic visual irony here is incredibly thick. As viewers, we know exactly what horrific fate is waiting those mice behind closed doors, even if the other mice don't quite get it yet. Outside the ashram, though, a really terrifying shift in tone starts to happen. The remaining mice are beginning to notice the pattern. A lot of time has passed and their friends just haven't come back out. If you watch the character expressions here, they change from peaceful relief to nervous, creeping suspicion. The whispering starts up again. Did the Swami do something? Maybe the prayer is just taking a really long time? That blind trust is seriously fracturing. And the whole story pivots right here into a really active, tense mystery. Where did they go? Well, the mice don't just sit around waiting to find out. Their collective intelligence kicks in. They realize they need to see inside for themselves. But going through the front door, way too risky. So step one, they frantically start digging a secret underground tunnel. And you can really feel it. The pacing of the AI animation speeds up drastically here, perfectly reflecting their panic and urgency. Step two, three brave mice sneak inside completely unnoticed. And step three, they finally uncover the dark, absolutely horrifying truth of the cat's so-called protection. And that brings us right to the emotional peak of this entire discovery. The mice peer into the ashram and realize they've been completely played. The holy monk is nothing but a murderer who's been snacking on their friends one by one. The actor moments for the mice in this scene are just phenomenal. You literally watch their expressions shift from absolute shock and devastating grief to this hardened, vengeful cunning. All that fear? It's totally gone. It's completely replaced by a unified, burning desire to teach this fake sadhu a lesson he will never, ever forget. So now we have a huge problem. How on earth do tiny little mice take down a large, cunning cat in his own domain? They definitely can't overpower him physically. It's just not going to happen. They have to outsmart him. So they huddle together and formulate this brilliantly risky plan for the very next day. They are going to use the cat's own immense greed and his fake religious persona right against him. The tension is so palpable here, you're just holding your breath wondering, is this crazy plan going to work? Or are they just delivering themselves as the cat's next meal? Here's what they do. The next day, two mice approach the cat and they play their parts perfectly. They act deeply, deeply respectful. They tell the Swami that they've brought their children to him, and they humbly ask him to perform a special prayer for them to clear some enemy obstacles. But get this, these aren't children at all. The mice have taken lumps of highly sticky glue and cleverly disguised them to look exactly like baby mice. It is just a masterful counter-deception. And here is the hilarious payoff. The greedy cat, completely convinced he's about to get a tender, super easy meal, takes the children inside for the fake prayer. He can't even control his hunger, so he immediately bites down hard. But instead of a tasty mouse, his jaws clamp down straight onto this powerful, sticky glue trap. The 3D animation here leans so heavily into physical comedy. The cat stumbles back outside, his mouth completely glued shut, and his face is locked in this exaggerated, hilarious expression of sheer shock and defeat. His own gluttony literally became his ultimate undoing. Poetic justice, right? The mice survived and triumphed, all because they finally decided to question the reality right in front of them. And honestly, it leaves us with a pretty powerful reflection. Have you ever trusted something that seemed just a little bit too good to be true? Because as the monk cat showed us in pretty spectacular fashion, sometimes the most dangerous threats hide behind the absolute most peaceful masks. Keep your eyes open, folks, and never, ever stop asking questions. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.